broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I missed it. Like, I'm so excited to hear this song again after that AFTERBUZZ intro. You guys, we are back for another season of Reign. This is season 2, episode 1, and I have my lovely co-host back on the panel with me, Miss Fahnia.
I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I'm so happy Reign is back in the French court. And we have our crowns
We
on
do.
tonight.
We do. And I am your host, Keetin Marchi, because I completely forgot to introduce myself because I'm just so excited. And we have a new host with us.
Hello.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I would love to. I'm JB Zimmernan. Happy to be here, joining the panel.
We do.
We're happy to have you joining the panel. And as the newest, we would like to bequeath you and crown you with the Royal CW
Nice.
Reign
It's
crown.
An honor. It's an honor.
Yes. It is an honor.
It is. So welcome.
Thank you.
guys,
Yes.
welcome him. Yay.
Yay!
And let's talk about Phil, the one missing part.
Ladies, don't hurt us, but Phil is taking a well-deserved vacation, so he will not be here for a couple weeks, but he will be back, and he sends his love, and I'm sure if you tweet at him or write us messages on the YouTube or the iTunes.
The YouTube?
The YouTube or the... It's funny, because that's how my mom...
Crown
he is
down.
having issues with the
YouTube,
crown.
the Twitter.
The YouTube, the Twitter, anything, Phil will be happy to fill you in on his opinion of the premiere episode, which I really liked. I thought it was a great episode and a great way to come back. What did you guys think?
Absolutely. I thought it was really just encompassed everything from last season. Kind of they set up a lot of pieces that were like, oh, what's going to happen? But they kind of recapped everything. So that was good for me.
It was somewhat full circle for me. There was one or two things that I was looking for. I wanted a shout out to the King Henry. I miss him. Like,
Gotta let him go.
I know.
let it go.
I will never let Hot King Henry go, because I still dream about him. Hopefully he'll come and visit us sometime this
Yeah,
season.
he could be a ghost.
He could, yes.
Right?
Or a memory. They could go and do recaps. I mean, it was only season 1 that ended, so we can go back.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Plot
think about
twist. I like that.
Dun, dun, dun. So tell me about tell me about your love for Reign. Like, what got you here?
I was huge into Game of Thrones. This is very similar. I just kind of fell into it and kind of got hooked. I mean, it's just a good show.
Yeah.
I mean, the character development is really good. It follows a lot of core characters and deals with a lot of cool things. I mean, it's crazy to think that they are so young and yet had to deal with such ridiculously large decisions, and that's the truth of it.
Can I ask you the most important question? And this could
Absolutely.
seal
Fire
your
away.
fate
Let's
on
do
this
it.
panel.
Let's do it.
Are you hashtag Team Bash or hashtag Team Francis?
Tough call. I'm hashtag the Royal Brothers. Because I like both.
Oh,
The new kids bring in some new hashtags. I like
Yeah.
it.
Hey, you can stay.
All right. I'm glad.
You've passed the test. So, Fahnia, what did you wish was here that you didn't get in this episode?
King Henry.
Oh, just King Henry.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Because I did some binging on Hulu, and am I allowed to say that?
You can say that.
And I was just noticing how cute he is, and how attractive he is, and how much I liked his character. So that's all. I just wish there was a little bit more shot out. I'm not ready to let him go.
They are kind of painting Mr. Francis, though, in a very heroic light right now. So, the episode, obviously the cliffhanger last season was Francis leaving the castle, riding off into the distance to save his unborn child. because he's assuming that Lola is going to die in childbirth, and Mary being like, you're going to get, diseased by the plague. But Francis goes anyway because he is noble, and he is Francis. And
he's wants to protect his possible only heir at this point.
Yes.
It's major.
Yeah, because we don't even know if Mary can bear children at this point, because obviously Francis is not shooting blanks.
So you're blaming Queen Mary, is that it?
Maybe the chemistry between that just doesn't work. I don't know how that all works, but anyways, Francis gets to Lola and finds out that she is alive, and she has delivered a healthy baby boy, which very well could be the only heir that Francis ever has.
True. I mean, I thought that was kind of a setup for a very similar scenario where, Francis grew up in. Mm-hmm. Sebastian was his first son from King Henry, and they dealt with it very well. I think that he's going to be a better dad than Henry would, knowing everything that he knew that came to light at the last episodes of last season. So I think that even with having a child out of wedlock that is a possible heir to the throne, he's going to handle that situation a lot better.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that's spot on, because when you know better, you do better. And he probably wouldn't want to treat his son the way that he was treated. Mm-hmm. And maybe he would want them to have a different relationship. So.
I wouldn't completely throw Henry under the bus as a father, though. I mean, when he got crazy, he got crazy.
He wanted to kill his...
No, but that wasn't until he went crazy. He started
No, I mean, not saying just as a father, but also just as a person. I mean, Francis, when he found out on Henry's deathbed that Henry killed his brother, I mean, that was huge, because he realized that that's something he never wanted to do. Like, it was a weight that Henry carried every day. And we saw that sort of flash of his brother, who we only found out at the end, like, who it was. That is such a big burden that I think that Francis doesn't want to have ever.
But Francis does have the burden of killing his father.
Yes, he does.
So,
he does.
Or does he? Does he care? Because he seems... We didn't see that this episode. Maybe it'll come later on down the line.
He was worried about a lot of other things in this episode. But, I mean, we also know that... I don't know. I mean, I don't think Francis is free from that road that Henry's on. I mean, we saw Catherine many times tonight, and we'll get more into Catherine and Mary's story back at the castle, but we saw her many times tonight just telling Mary, hey, you are a new queen and Francis is a new king, and you guys have no idea the decisions you have to make, and sometimes the lives you have to lose to save more lives. And that hardens you as a person, that changes you as a person. And I believe we're going to see both Mary and Francis, as they struggled last season with this, continue to struggle with who they are as human beings and who they are as the king and queen and the leaders of France.
Absolutely.
So, right now, Francis can't lead France because he is with Lola. He gets her out of this plague-ridden home. Mm-hmm. And they start a way back to the castle, even though there's really not much of a path and they don't have any security. And they run into Francis's cousin Louis Lord Condé. Mm-hmm. Like Condoleezza Rice.
He is the new
just at the right place at the right time.
He is so hot.
In the court.
Yes.
Okay. But it's subtle. It's
he's
like
so hot.
He's very not so much.
I mean, you guys. Sorry, I cannot contribute at this point.
But you and Phil are going to have so much more fun this season. Phil loves Kenna. Yeah.
So he's
Phil's
cute,
a smart man.
But he lied, or he was deceptive, which lost points for me, because he wasn't forthcoming about having the boat and being able to escape to the north from the plague. Nonetheless, he's still cute. And
he did help them. He did bring
assist.
them in, and he immediately was like, hey, I know who you are. I'm going to protect you. I'm not going to do any harm you. They set up camp. They invited him and Lola, and when that other guy showed up, what's his name? Oh my God.
The guy with
Stephen.
Yeah, the guy on horseback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. he shows up, and he has captured Estelle, who was the peasant woman that helps deliver Lola and Francis's baby and took care of her.
Right.
And they have her in a cage, and Louis is very quickly tells Francis, "Hey, watch your back with that guy." And gives him
it was backstabbing sort of on both ends.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried, like, oh, like who is right at that point it was kind of unfolding. But they were both like,
we don't know who
well,
to trust yet.
This guy's dirty because of all this, and
I mean, I definitely trust Louis a lot more, and I honestly, I'm excited because I'm excited to see more characters come in this season, the nobles coming in and them interacting with these different people, rather than it just being the four ladies and Francis and Bash.
Right. Like the essential core family. I agree. Why do you think the other guy's more trustworthy?
Louis?
Uh-huh.
I think Louis is more trustworthy because he immediately took Francis in, even though he didn't have to do that, because Francis and this random woman could have been infected by the plague. He immediately took them in. He took care of them, but he was still protecting himself, because that's what you have to do back then. And as soon as this other guy came and tried to start kind of like, I don't know, what was he was kind of almost like
slimy.
He was being
slimy,
slimy with Francis, but Francis was feeding into it. Louis immediately was like, "Hey, just so you know, this guy has a history." And even though he got called out by the slime ball, he immediately was like, "Yes, I'm sorry. You have to understand this is," and he's very honest with Francis.
Yes.
He admits he's at fault, and he offers, if you want to send Lola with me, I will take care of her. As kind of, he didn't say that it would be as penance for like him lying to him, but he's very open to whatever, like we're family. So I do like Louis. I like him, and I want him to stick around because he's so hot.
And I like him too. And I asked you that because I agree, because we don't see that a lot in court. Usually everybody is so deceptive and backbiting and trying to get ahead, but he took responsibility, assumed it, cards on the table. So I hope it stays that way with him.
I mean, but as of now, he's leaving. So hopefully he comes back soon, or maybe he doesn't leave.
With his fine face.
He is so cute. And so at the end of kind of Francis and Lola's journey, Lola is prepared to leave with their child. Francis is ready to give his son up, let Lola live a life with her as kind of a widow and be able to have a life outside of court, which Lola hates. And then Francis goes and picks up the crying baby. I was like yelling at the TV. I was like, "Don't touch it, Francis! Don't do it!"
Wait, question for you guys as women. What do you think like that would be like, knowing, I mean, granted he's the king, so it's kind of a different scenario, but giving that up, like you have to, like which road would you be? I mean, it's kind of like between a rock and a hard place where there's no right answer, no like good outcome. Like you either go do this alone as a widow, or there's no way that she can have her own life.
I agreed with Bash in the beginning when he was like, put her on the boat, let her, have a life.
Francis.
What we've seen. Oh yeah, Francis. Francis. I agreed with that when he was like, okay, put her on the boat, send her away. She can have a life. She can be married. Some sense of normalcy. So I was like, no, don't touch the baby. Don't get attached. Send her away. And then she can come back to court and have a life that's not just, the mistress to the king and she bared the bastard king's son. Like, we've seen that.
Yeah.
So I really, really like Lola.
And if I was Lola, and I think Lola is so smart to know that for her to have a real chance at a life and for her child to have a better chance at life, it's better for them to leave. I would leave in that situation. Lola comes from a very wealthy family. She also is a widow of a very, well, as everybody else knows, wealthy man. And his family, her child will bear that prominent family's name. Lola will be fine if she doesn't get connected as the mistress to the king.
And she kept saying that, I'll go. She kept throwing herself on the sword saying, I'll go. And I was like, yes.
Right, but if she did leave, she'd be, in essence, denying the kid a father.
No, because she would be able to marry. She's never going to be able to marry. And who knows if Francis is really going to treat this child as a a legitimate child if him and Mary end up conceiving a child. So it's and also I think it's more dangerous for that child to be in court, because now that Francis has an heir, they're gonna want to kill it until another baby is born. That child is gonna have a huge price on its head. So
I hope it's not as predictable as what we've already seen with Bash and Francis. Because the scene where he was going in and we saw, like, the baby's crying, Lola can't be found, that was a little predictable. Like, oh, he's going to pick up the baby and fall in love. Yeah. And not put her on the boat. So I hope the CW doesn't. But I'm sure they won't. Because
come on, Reign.
So
we have a lot of episodes to go,
writers, we have faith in you. We love what you do, and you did such a good job this episode. We know you're gonna keep us happy and kill it.
But how quick do the people know about this bastard child? Like, it's out there now. Like, he came in, the cousin was like, XY, that's your mistress, that's your baby. Don't let it live a life.
I mean, to me, the decision is made. He's gonna make that known. Like, he's the king.
He's bringing that child back, and he knows. Like, he's gonna walk in with, "This is my baby, and this is why I left. I saved my child, Lion King. Savannah."
Wow, 0 to Lion King on there.
I don't know.
But he basically posted to medieval Facebook that he had a new baby.
Yeah. Oh. I hate all those people that post their baby pictures. That was a really cute baby, though. Most babies look like aliens. That was a really cute baby.
It was.
So,
well, there you go.
Props to casting that baby.
Well, I mean, Avi, because it's Bash's baby. I keep screwing up Francis and Bash tonight.
Francis. Oh, she's been gone for a really long time.
Well, he's kind of the new Bash, in a way.
He is. I want to know his name. That's what I really want to know, what they're going to name it. It. Well, it's him, the little boy. I wonder if they'll name it Henry after Francis's father.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're gonna
they're distancing
Francis themselves.
Will do to make himself feel better.
Well, and if not, I'm sure the people on YouTube viewers, by the way, they love to give us history on what actually happened in real life. So
Francis did not father a child. Francis died.
Oh, so then there you have it.
So this child is another make-believe bastard like Bash. But I'm okay with it, because I love Bash. Let's talk about Mary and Queen Catherine, who Queen Catherine, again, comes out swinging, my favorite character ever. What did you guys think of their, them working together this episode, / against each other?
I mean, at first I was worried because I didn't want Queen Mary to be that sort of naive person that she always is, or not that she always is, but that she likes to see the good in people and do what is morally right, instead of, the queen thing to do that Catherine basically says there's no other option, kind of muscles her into. And so I was worried that, she would create more chaos, by all these deaths, not succumbing to one person's death, and creating a lot more. But I think they turned it well. Like,
they did.
She always comes away with like a smart twist to do something like unexpected that is the right answer. Like secret option C.
Secret option C.
And I like that one of Mary's first orders of business as queen was to tell Catherine to shut the hell up.
Yes.
Like,
yes. I order you, and, like, I am your queen.
Just sit down and shut up.
Yeah. I mean, both those actresses are they're such amazing actresses, and they play such strong women, and I love when they're battling against each other. I love when they're helping each other out. And I just love them in scenes together, because their chemistry on screen is just undeniable, and they're so great.
Love it.
Right. It was great to see Mary never back down too. Like she embraced the role as queen and sort of was running with it, which is something that's new to this season, I think.
Yeah,
it is. And we saw that Mary is learning, heavy is the head that bears the crown. You're going to have to make decisions between life and food and, sticking up for yourself and telling her to, be quiet and pulling rank. Love it.
And with pulling rank, she gets AFTERBUZZ on her side, a little clean shaven this season.
I was surprised that they were in cahoots together against his boot thing, because they were kind of a little close, Nostradamus and Crafty Kathy. So I was like, okay, I like that.
I didn't even recognize Nostradamus when he first came out until you. I was like, did they get a new actor? Like, who is this guy?
Just gave him a quick shave.
They did give him a quick shave.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nostradamus is definitely Team Bash, I think, because he was going to go into with the whole Darkness episode stuff.
I think Nostradamus is just
Team everybody?
Yeah, he's team
It,
Kingdom, team Fix It. Like
team
he
Save
always,
Lives.
Yeah, and he always seems to do what's morally right for the most part. I feel like he's definitely like Team Save Lives. I think that's another great hashtag.
Thank you.
You're starting tonight. You can stick around.
But I
We
think
like you.
He's really good at throwing himself on the sword because, you know, he's kind of he's loyal, like to a fault almost.
Right.
And the fact, you know, he'll survive the plague, like he said. So, all for him going to find Francis.
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting character just because he's already lost everything. Like, he had a family and lost it. So I think that now he just lives for other people. I mean, he kind of has...
He sent his boo thing Olivia away last season.
I thought Estelle was going to be Olivia. Like, I was like, oh, is that Olivia back? Like, I thought for a moment. I like Olivia.
Well, we know the reason he sent Olivia away, and Olivia could still come back was because he had that vision of her dead with plague.
Right.
So who knows if that's actually going to come to life, if she somehow is going to run back to him and actually die, and we'll see that scene actually play out. So again, who knows?
But going back to Mary and Catherine, I kind of felt like we kind of lost more lives when Mary, just at the end, because the whole family was killed because she didn't want to go ahead and lose one life to grant this guy his request, which I understand the principles and why she did it, but more lives were lost in the end.
And she ended up killing him anyway.
Yeah, so we lost 20 or so, whatever many people, as opposed to one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, was it right? Was it not right?
I don't know. Her indecisiveness, I think Catherine was so right in that speech she gave to her about, you know, making decisions as a queen, and how Francis might have dealt with that situation as well. I think, again, as you said, like, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's a like, her indecisiveness and her lack of just doing something, it cost so many more lives than were absolutely necessary. And I feel like if I was in her situation, I would have listened to Catherine.
Yeah, like, I want her to pull rank, but I want her to also, it's okay to not have to do it your way all of the time. You know, maybe accept her way of doing it, but put it in your own words and do it in your own way. If it's, you know, if you outweigh everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think it's like a gray area where you have to make a decision like that, and there's no right answer. It's like you either kill someone right now, or maybe a few other people die. Also, in the long run, you know, doing it her way, more people died now, but it may save even more people later. I mean, because she punished the guy that was trying to basically blackmail her, maybe less people do that in the future. So it's a tough thing to say globally.
Yeah. It's so hard, but I do love, you know, when she did realize she kind of maybe made a mistake. She did fix it very quickly, because Catherine was going to come at her, was going to be like, you know, if Francis, because Nostradamus went out because he can't get the plague. He went out to find Francis and Lola. He found the mill that they were supposedly at that was burnt to the ground with a big X on the door. So, you know, Catherine and Mary are thinking maybe Francis and Lola are dead. Mary's not believing it. Catherine's just like, great, I'm queen again! Like, and I loved that scene too, but Mary very quickly knew, okay, I'm not safe here when my husband's not here, and she had to take care of Catherine, which the way she did it I thought was so clever. And
it's funny because Catherine was trying to school Mary this whole time, and Catherine got schooled. Like,
so schooled.
It was totally a play out of Catherine's own playbook. It was flawless. It was great.
Yeah, sorry, I like that moment though where Catherine was real for the first time with Mary. I mean, she thought she was dying of the plague, so I think that was kind of a cool moment. She actually gave Mary real advice, like queen to queen, like, if this is the last thing I'm saying to you, know this.
And we also discover that Catherine can read Mary like a
everything.
freaking book. She knew exactly where Francis went. She knew exactly what happened between them and Lola. I mean, that woman is so smart. So even if Francis wants to keep the baby thing a secret when he gets back, with Catherine controlling that
chance.
thing, I mean,
No
it's going to be whatever Catherine wants. That's good. That's what's going to happen with this child. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But I am glad at the end, even though Mary was a little scary in that last shot we saw her after she sent the guy to the catacombs. But power to her.
I think she was scared.
Yeah.
Like the guy was screaming her name, like, and I mean, he wasn't dying in that moment, but
Right.
it was like he was screaming.
Which
murder.
she ended up doing exactly what Catherine suggested. Like, is killing one
I
person,
know.
sending
Yeah,
him
I know.
to that death, like in the plague room.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, like she could have shortcutted to that right away. But you never know. Like, you never know what will happen. I think, I don't want her to be such a character where it's like a goody two-shoes. Everything has to be so perfect. Like, I'm
Right.
never going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to create more problems. But at the same time, like, maybe if she acted more in a way where she put the guards in on earlier or something to prevent stuff before people can sabotage her.
It was chaos in court, and she, I feel like each time Mary has to make one of these decisions as queen, or because she's in power or whatever, she kind of gets like, she had like this pure kind of white soul. I don't know if any of you guys watch Once Upon a Time, but when the great, like the good guys in Once Upon a Time, when they do really evil things, they get like a black mark on their heart. And you can actually like see it. And I feel like that's kind of what I feel like is happening to Mary. Like, she's slowly getting these black marks on her clean white soul.
Welcome to being a queen.
I know, and it'll be interesting to see how long she can sustain this.
They seem to be the generation to want to do it, better than their parents.
Yes.
And maybe more honestly and without so many deaths and killings. So I'm interested to see how it plays out.
Absolutely. Well, another interesting storyline that was a huge kind of it wasn't even a cliffhanger. It was just everybody was so sad. And we were lucky enough last season to have actually Jonathan Keltz in studio to talk about his dreamy and sweet, sweet character, Laith, who finally found love, or what we thought was potential love at the end of last season. And then come to find out at the beginning of this episode that is sickly and just really randomly Lord Castleroy's daughter Yvette. So technically Greer's future stepdaughter.
Son-in-law.
Well, Yvette's Greer's future
Oh.
stepdaughter. So
Right.
if Laith and Yvette get together, Laith will be Greer's future son-in-law, which is just weird.
It's just too close for comfort.
Way too close for comfort.
Yeah, no, that is Ox status to the max. Like, there's more people outside the castle. Laith can.
I'm just
he's
thinking,
entitled
fun
now.
of your Ox. Hashtag Ox to the max. It's another hashtag. You're
Yeah, no,
building them
totally.
up tonight.
Use it.
I love it.
But no, I think that it would never work that way. I mean, it's something that he wouldn't even want. I mean, if you've ever been on a date or something and seen an ex, like that, just being in the same room is like crazy awkward. Like,
I'm friends with
being
all my
in the
exes.
family.
Are you really?
I am.
How does that work?
I mean, an ex though that you're still in love with. I mean, clearly they still have feelings for each other. They only can't be with each other because of logistics, kind of.
Well, and I think Greer is so smart for having that interaction with, and I thought that interaction was so mature and so honest when she's like, hey, Laith, you just need to back off, because I know if this continues and if I have to be this close to you all the time, I will make that mistake. And she doesn't blame Laith. She blames herself, and she's just like, please, for my sake, help me not to make that mistake and not to ruin my life as well as my family's life. And Laith is kind enough, and we know obviously still loves her, because she says, if you love me, don't, or if you have any type of feelings for me, do not go. And Laith does not go.
Well, didn't the lady die anyways?
She did. Yvette did die because, unfortunately, she was hiding out with that one family who was killed by the poison.
Which I didn't understand why she was with Lord Pierre, whoever's family.
I think, like, all the different noble families were kind of locking themselves in rooms to, like, protect
kind of
themselves
like a
from the
quarantine.
plague. Yeah. And for some reason, Castleroy wasn't locking himself in a room, so he maybe sent his daughter to be locked in a room to be safe because he was kind of still about the castle. We saw that Greer was still about the castle, so they were not locked in anywhere. So I'm sure he in his mind was like, I'm going to send you to be locked in the in a room.
Well, problem solved, but unfortunately, Leith is without a love.
Leith is without a love. So
I mean, he'll find another. She was kind of like a rebound girl. I mean, let's be real. She was just kind of there. I mean, she was in the castle. He was like upset.
Well, and even if she lived, I highly doubted that Lord Castleroy would even let that continue. It is really sad though that she was the one to Leith that was like, we only have like what days to live. Let's spend them together, and then she's the one who
the last
kicks
of days.
the bucket.
What did you guys do in your last day on Earth?
This got really deep and dark.
No,
it doesn't have to be dark. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't have to be dark. I would be on a beach with some margaritas with my family and music
massive
and
party.
party.
Yeah. Do something really fun. Yeah,
or
with people being surrounded by people that I love and something crazy. Yeah, having a good time.
Like the girl.
Yeah, all of the above. Skydive to a beach party.
Yeah.
Oh, boom.
Boom. He's got it. He's got it. That's like 22 Jump Street style. They jumped out of a helicopter onto a beach. I digress.
Pretty baller. Good way to go out.
So then we get to our other favorite couple of this season and my other favorite man on this show, just because
he has piercing blue eyes.
He does have piercing blue eyes, and you were lucky enough to sit next to him last season. Torrance Coombs, who was in studio and has been so awesome. Both Jonathan Coutts and Torrance have been tweeting at us, and they've been, thank you guys. We love your support, and we loved you on Reign, and we just want you guys to come back, and you guys are awesome.
Seriously, and help us get other castmates. We do this for you guys. Help us. Viewers, help us. Get them in here.
Yeah.
We love having conversations with the cast people because it just makes it so much more exciting and fun.
It does make it more fun. And they're cool people.
Oh, they're so nice.
Both of them were so sweet. Their girlfriends came in too and were so sweet.
And the viewers hated us for not putting the girlfriends on. So we'll do that next time. We promise.
We do promise. If anybody brings significant others in, we will put them on.
If they want to be on.
If they want to be on. Absolutely. So let's talk about Bash and Kenna. Oh, Bash, you're so dreamy. So I love seeing them together. They seem more settled. There still seems to be so much chemistry between them, but it seems almost a mature chemistry. It's not so much lustful anymore. It's like they've grown up a little bit since we've seen them last. Even though this has been the same day that we actually saw them last, or the next day.
I mean it's a couple days just because the whole Francis thing took a little bit longer than expected.
Yeah. But we see Bash and Kenna. Bash is very concerned for Kenna. He doesn't want her to get the plague, so he's like, let's lock you up. Bash can't get locked up, nor would he. You can't lock a man like Bash up.
No.
Not the Lord of Horse and Hunt, and you know what rhymes with Hunt. Yes, that's what he said. You watch our old after shows. You understand.
Just the last one.
It was, yeah.
It was just
but they still have Pascal, who I was so nervous about.
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned while we were watching it. I thought he was the heir to the darkness,
He is the heir to the darkness.
Look, the demon child's got to go.
The demon child
Pascal,
wants to kill... Well, the demon child has it out for Bash, but he loves Kenna.
Right,
Kenna
because Bash
takes care
killed
of
his
him.
dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but according to this episode, so when the plague breaks out in the castle, the actual guy, as we see it, who spreads the plague is this adulterous, nasty man, who we got a
sharing beer mugs with everybody.
Sex scene episode 1 of Reign. Well, don't really. You like that sexing of all the people we could have seen.
I'm just
in
happy
It's season 2. You got to get right into the action.
I'm happy they're just keeping it consistent.
Okay.
They're giving us body action.
Give us
out
sex,
the gates.
lots and lots. Even if it's plague-filled sex, Fahnia loves it.
It wasn't plague-filled sex.
It was post-sex. It wasn't
It
even.
was a bump
Gross.
after.
No, that was nasty. Anyway, so we see him like, and we all knew that the plague was going to get into the castle. Like it, we knew it was going to happen. And this guy who has it and starts spreading it, he grabs Pascal at some point. We don't know how their interaction started, but wants Pascal to help him in the stables or help him with something. And Kenna finds Pascal, and she wants to take Pascal into hiding with her. So neither of them get the plague, and the man's like, no, like let me take Pascal. I need him. And Pascal's like doesn't want Kenna to get hurt by this man because she's alone, and he's being very rude to her. And Pascal's like, you know what? I'll just go. I'll be back soon.
I think he pulled Pascal because did he say something about being like a mulatto? I felt like he thought he was like a servant
he
or
did
a slave.
think he was.
So
Yeah,
it was like you come help.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's that.
Rude. So then Kenna goes to find Pascal because it's a while before he comes back. And when she finds him, she sees him covered in this man's blood. And he's like, my throat hurt. I can't breathe. He looks like he's in fever. I mean,
Yeah, it looks quite sickly.
He's
and
got
his bones
the plague.
hurt,
But Kenna, as sweet as she is, does not want to just leave him.
This was such a softer, selfless side of Kenna that I was like, wow, maternal instincts kicked
Well, yeah,
up a
I
notch.
think that they've been playing house a little bit since they rescued Pascal and wanted to kind of show him something. I mean, he was in the darkness, like that close from becoming the new darkness lord, I guess. So
I thought this was such a good episode for Kenna. I completely agree with you, Fahnia. It's just the tenderness in those scenes of her sitting on the opposite side of the door, crying and trying to make him comfort him. I like that choked me up a little bit.
Aww.
I know. She was just so cute. And yeah.
But
no,
now
I agree.
would like to know. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that I agree with you guys. I think Kenna this episode was a much more well-rounded character. In previous, she's kind of been sort of one-dimensional, like she likes clothes and is really pretty, and that's kind of a joke that Bash was kind of upset, like that was a barrier for him, before they fully like embraced their marriage. I think it's great that she is showing these like other character traits, that she's like a bigger person, like there's more to Kenna than just being hot. Which she is. I mean, she's gorgeous.
She is hot. But I would like to know, so now that Pascal's gone, what's up with the darkness?
I don't think Pascal is gone.
Oh, you think he's going to come back?
I have my predictions.
Oh,
Make my
okay.
prediction.
But that was like, so now that the heir to this predicted plague that's now hit, because in the last season, or the last episode we saw last season as well, that they said once the stars start falling, the Black Plague is going to come. So it's here. So I'm very interested to see, I guess maybe he'll survive and come back as a zombie.
I don't know.
Because there was very zombie-like.
When speaking of zombies, props to the makeup department.
Yes.
And I mean, not only was the makeup for the plague stuff really awesome, you could obviously tell they really, really put a lot of time and money into the different shots, the locations. I know they shot some of this on location, I believe, in Ireland or Scotland, I think. I don't know. And it was stunning. And props to the whole crew.
And
for really
wardrobe.
oh my
because
gosh.
in the opening, Kenna's dress, looked like some Ion von Furstenberg that we can get now, or like BCBG. And Mary's, I know you're like,
Mary's
totally.
Mary's
Go for
looked
it.
more
Talk amongst
historical, but I
yourselves.
felt that it was stunning.
the belt was so on trend with the big poofy skirt. Like, you guys killed it.
Bring it
Good
back.
wardrobe, people.
Yes.
Awesome.
They killed
Rain
it.
wardrobe, rain makeup, rain writers,
Yes, because
rain everything.
When that girl came out at Bash, I was like, she's like a zombie plague person. The makeup was so awesome.
It was scary.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and there were a lot of characters in this episode, and for them to sort of do all these extras, it was a big budget premiere for sure.
A lot of people were dressed, lots of close-ups of people, and
Love it.
it looked awesome. A lot of different locations. They were outside for a lot of it, but I think that kind of wraps this up. I mean, in the end, Bash saves Kenna. Neither of them are infected, as far as we know.
As far as we know.
and we've lost Pascal.
We've lost Pascal, but we've gained Red Ribbon Girl.
We have. I think she's probably a pagan mind person.
She's
Mind
the new
trick?
Clarissa.
She is, yeah.
I love it. You know, I love my ghosty people. So
Yes, yeah.
I don't think she's real though. I think she's just like a figment of the darkness in Bash.
right. Well, I think she's in purgatory with all the other people that have died in the plague in the castle, because she mentioned something of like, there's going to be no rest. There's a reckoning.
This is a new
So-
darkness.
Yeah.
Like the darkness.
Ooh!
The darkness was the kind of like
Darkness
magical
2.0.
mystery
No, the
thing from
teeth
last
guy,
season,
right?
But I think the new kind of mystical force that they're fighting against are these ghosts.
Yeah.
I think that's
Keetin.
Yes, that's what I think this season.
That's good.
Oh, thank you.
That's good.
I've missed Reign so much. Let's get into predictions. We're kind of already getting
Yeah,
into
we
them.
are.
Let's get into them. Do we get prediction music, Nando?
Of course.
I didn't know.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I have three.
Good,
I'm
'cause
like,
Go for it.
I'm like,
Fire away.
do you want me to go first?
Please
Okay.
do.
I don't think Pascal is dead, but he might be dead. But if he's dead, his ghost is going to play a huge part in kind of the whole ghost purgatory thing that's happening. I think the ghosts are going to kind of take over the castle a little bit. So it's like, you know, it used to be they weren't safe outside the castle because the darkness was outside the castle. Now I think the mystical forces and the danger is going to be within the walls of the castle. And I think we're going to see Henry as a ghost in this season, and I think he's going to be haunting Francis, and so I think we're still going to get our lovely Henry, but I think he's going to be scary and have like missing an eye and a nasty ugly eye patch, but we'll still see his beauty through. But
No eye patch, just sexy face.
just sexy face Henry. What do you guys got for me?
I think Pascal is donezo. I think
think he's
he's
dead? Okay.
never to be seen again. I think Francis is bringing new baby boy back to the castle, and that's gonna start some stuff. It's just like an obstacle that Mary can't overcome, and I love to see like what she does with that.
Unless she kills the baby.
Right. I mean, it's her best friend's baby though, so it's an interesting thing how they're gonna do that. Like, how is Lola gonna be there? Like, it would be. I don't think she wants to be Francis's mistress, and I don't think he wants that either. So it's going to be interesting how they juggle that parenthood with Mary and their friendship dynamic.
I agree with a portion of that. I think Lola, my prediction is that Lola's going to leave court for a little bit. And because she kept saying it, and I don't think she
Just have
wants
a
that
mom
life.
day.
Yeah, I don't think she wants that life either. So that's what I predict. But she'll be back. I think she's going to, disappear for a little bit, live her life. I'm not sure what's going to happen to the baby though.
I
don't
think
know if
this
he's going to take the baby, or
It's gonna
if
die.
Francis is like, no, you can't take my baby. You think death
I
on
think
the
this.
baby?
I think this baby's not going to last through the season, let alone maybe right before the mid-season finale. But I think this baby, unfortunately, is doomed.
to done.
And I hope it's not the case, but I just think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it just because it puts everything back on course with with Francis
The baby's
and
kind
Mary.
of a problem.
well, if
I
we're
don't
going
know.
by history, we know Francis will be. I feel like Francis unfortunately might die at the end of this season. We might get one more season with him, but Francis dies. So
I'm not ready to let
in
these
history,
people go.
but I know I don't want him to die either. I am Team Francis. I love Francis, but I think that's what this entire season will be building up to. Mary realizing she needs Francis so much to be queen here and to have control over France, only to lose him in the end. So we don't have to
Well-
watch the season.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, we have a whole nother week. We have to wait until our next episode of Reign. But where can we find you guys while we wait?
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas.
Nice. You guys can find me at JB_Zimmerman on Twitter and Instagram.
You guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Keetin Marchi. That's KeetinMarchi. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, rate, give us 5 stars.
Yes.
Keep the conversation going, and hopefully we'll get some more of the stars in studio this season from Reign. Thanks so much, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.